And the business update, it comes now to 8 minutes after 8, and I have a guest this morning. Barry Gordon is here from Gordon's Estate Services. Barry, it's always great to see you first thing in the morning. What time do you normally get up?
Well, I typically start ticking around 5.
5 o'clock?
Yeah, this morning I get up a little sharper than that because I want to get to the gym and get here, and then I'm off to Toronto next for the afternoon, and I end up in London tonight. I'm in Windsor tomorrow morning.
Do you have a jet to get around?
No, well... Yeah, there are times when you have to get a little help in transportation, but this one's mostly going to be on the road. So.
Yeah, what time do you retire?
Well, I go to bed early. I'm usually hard at 10, through the week.
Yeah. So you get a chance to see maybe the news and...
Get all rested up, yeah. Whatever can happen before 10, I can be involved in.
Yeah.
After 10, I can't.
Well, say, getting involved, you're here to talk about folks that are getting ready in that part of life where they start to downsize, and they may come from a family that has second marriages. And how does that affect them when they're downsizing?
Yeah, you bet. Second families, second marriages can have a lot of added complexities to people trying to figure out, what to do and how to give equity, right? Like, let's say a couple have been married for many years, raised a family up, and one of them passes away, and 5 years later, that surviving spouse remarries and spends 10 years with the next partner.
Okay.
And then 10 years with the next partner. They want to build some security in for the second partner, but they want to look after the adult children of the first marriage as well, which, rightly fills some entitlement to, what dad or mom acquired over their life. And so those are things that often require a little bit extra thought and care and understanding, and professional advice helps a lot too. What I wanted to just touch for a second, I had an interesting question I think a lot of people can relate to. Last Saturday, I was working at an open house the morning before the football game, and someone had came in and asked, Barry, who sets the listing price of a house? And in this particular case, I deduced that the gentleman asking was a neighbor. And this particular neighbor was really... So the short answer to the question is the seller always decides what they're going to ask for their house. They have full control over that, and they should expect from the realtor some advice as to what the realtor thinks, might be a good listing price, of course. But the seller's going to make that decision. But the interesting thing in the question is that it's been my experience, and I told this particular individual this when he asked, it's been my experience that everyone that likes their neighborhood, everyone that lives in a neighborhood that they like, and most people live in a neighborhood that they like, and particularly people that have lived in the neighborhood for a long time, tend to think the highest value of their house and therefore all their neighbors' houses. So it's not uncommon for someone who lives in a neighborhood that they love to sort of look at all of the houses that come on the street close to them as being maybe not listed quite high enough because, after all, and even, properties that have been on the market for several months, a person might say, well, they should be asking more. Generally speaking, that probably isn't supported by the evidence. But it's nice to know that people love their neighborhoods.
I think it's getting tougher today, too, because we've been hearing stories about how the realty market is changing now.
Yeah, the latest statistics are that the volume of sales, the ratio of properties sold versus properties listed, or the overall ratio of properties sold, is easing a little bit. And so that means that a few more properties that want to get sold may not get sold or may take longer to get sold. And so, people pricing decisions are important decisions. You want to price the house in a way that you get the best price you can get. But at the same time, if you're serious about selling, you want to make sure you're paying attention to that too, and try to put it in the market where it belongs. Rather than sort of living in an optimistic world that isn't really going to get the property sold for you.
Good sound advice, Barry Gordon, Gordon's Estate Services, the web address.
GoGordons.com.
And the telephone number.
613-542-0963. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, Barry Gordon.